1961 Mk1 MG Midget Roadster that has been off the road for over half a century. This thing was parked in 1971. It sat tucked away in a garage in Georgia. It's been dragged out, and we get to do the fun part. Let's attempt to get this thing running again after 54 years of sitting. We've had a handful of MG Midgets, most of them round wheel arch cars, which we really like. But to me, this is like the next best thing. You just do not see these anywhere. And I call it a Roadster. You may notice there's no handle. There's a handle on the inside, and you have a fancy window that goes in and slides on here. Shoop. And that's what you get as far as being out of the cold. The top on this thing is actually in extremely nice shape, and it just unclips like that, and this whole thing pulls up out of here, so you're just completely open cockpit. And man, this thing is such a time capsule. What a cool interior. Original bomber style seats, and look at this, airplane seat belts. Maybe World War II or Vietnam or something. That is just so neat. What a beautiful dash design. And this thing has been several different colors. It was originally a white car. You can see some British racing green, and its last color was red. It's a little beat up, but it is completely rust free. So it's definitely one to jump into and rescue, which is just what we're gonna do. Check that out. Old bias ply. These are actually Denman Gran Turismos. Those are fancy. I bet they'll ride nice. Now, the only thing that does concern me a little bit with this one is the transmission's half torn. The engine here is half torn apart. The transmission's half torn apart. There is still a chain on the engine here. Was this thing parked because the engine failed and they were pulling it out, or did it fail? Maybe they put another one in there. Never did get it going again. I guess that's for us to find out. Some prehistoric detective work. Check this black iron intake pipe out. How cool is that? Yeah. Hey, it's got oil in it. It's very low, but it's clean for what it is, and there's no moisture, so that's good. We know this thing spent the whole time in a barn. I mean, this thing is beautiful condition compared to a lot of stuff we mess with. Looking down on the side there, you can see 950. So this is a correct 948 engine for this car. Notice the transmission is green here, and some of the other components are green, which is what the original engine would have been. So this is most likely a replacement. I wonder what would have came with that red orange like that, but it is at least the right style for now until we put a V8 in this thing. And I wanted to correct myself. The GAN1 means it's a Mk1 61 to 63. The L is left-hand drive for export to the US. And then our serial number there, those last 5 digits, makes it a 1962. Now, some people might be confused why 6-foot guys like these little cars, but if you've ever had one, you know why. They're a little tough to get into because they're small, but even to me, versus the MGB or Miata, this has more interior room once you're in it. So you kind of, oh Lord, drop down in this thing. Oh, now look at this. I am full stretch, butt in between, gap in between my butt and the seat, and have headroom. Like, is this interior not huge feeling? And this is such a go-kart. I'm so excited to get this one going. It's been a minute since we've had one of these. This one's gonna be really fun. It's been a minute. Isn't that great? Oh yeah. This thing is bolted down. I'm gonna get this chain, attempt to get this chain out of the way here. And then first thing, something that has been sitting this long, let's pull our spark plugs. Let's take a look at these combustion chambers. You know, if we've got rust or anything in there, we want to soak this thing down. We'll try to turn it over by hand first, just so we don't tear anything up with the starter. Cool old Champion plugs. Oh my goodness. That one wasn't tight at all. Cylinder number 1. It definitely ran on that. That's a really nice plug. Old school Champion N5, but it looks really nice. Cylinder number 2. Maybe barely ran on that. These were brand new. Maybe when this engine was stuck in here. Cylinder number 3. Again, maybe ran on that a little better than that cylinder. No condensation. Awesome. Cylinder number 4. Wow. Nice. Definitely ran on that. Looks super awesome. Let's throw a bore scope down in here and just take a look. Oh, wow. Look how clean. Oh, look, it's actually been... So somebody had this thing apart. Look how the piston's been cleaned on the top. No rust. Get cylinder here. Oh, yep. See that surface, that very light surface rust? Sometimes that's all it takes, and that is why we soak these things down. Pretty nice walls though otherwise. Just a little bit of cross hatching still visible there. Again, see the little bit of rust. Definitely a used engine. Nothing super fresh about this one. Super nice looking cylinder. We can actually see, oh, check that out. 020. So that is 20 thousandths bored over. And with this fancy high-rise intake and carburetor, this thing might be a hot rod. Even the cleanest looking of cylinders can have rust that can stick your rings. And if we tried jumping in there with a starter, could potentially break it. Let it soak for a little while. Try to turn over by hand. Oh, it had just a little tiny bit of stick there and it just pushed free. Super, super easy. Oh, you don't get much better than that. Making sure we get some nice full revolutions. Awesome. Now before we go any farther, let's get this old oil drained out of here. As long as this thing is sat, most of our crud and sediment is gonna have drained down at the bottom of that oil pan. Plus we want to get a look at it, just make sure there's nothing gnarly down there. Look at the size of this exhaust pipe. Beep. This car should not be this solid. Do you see this thing? It's a little thick, but no glitter, no metal, no moisture, and no sludge. Nice. Now our oil filter, it uses an old Karcher style filter. They're aggravating to take out, they're aggravating to deal with, so they sell a pretty inexpensive kit that we're gonna install. Not only is this going to make things a little easier, tidy up the engine bay here, but we can put a modern anti-drain back oil filter, which is going to be much better for this engine anyways, and readily accessible right here at our local auto parts store. With the filter out, you still have to pull this base. And the reason you have to do that is so it'll clear the generator or alternator, which we'll most likely convert this car to. That's literally... It's right here, it goes straight through into your oil jacket. So make sure you do some type 2 non-hardening sealant. And then our gasket, we have the lightest film of sealant on there. I hate goop going ever, especially into our oil jacket. So it's just the lightest to make sure any imperfections are nice and sealed. Our thread, just to make sure we don't have any oil leaks. I guess oil leak is just gonna leak into the oil filter, but still. Set our torque. Got our new copper washers. Dude. I wonder how well it drains back. Oh my goodness. So these only drain back past those push rods, and it's kind of cold. That 2050, which this calls for, is a little thick. Everything looks great down on top there, so I don't think we have any oil passageway issues. Level looks pretty good there. Now I think it's time to try to get some electricity to the starter and maybe turn this thing over by itself. So this is like the Nash Metropolitan, same exact starter salt. I guess it's not a salt, I don't know what it is. Just a connector, has a cable here that pulls and creates the connection right there. How neat is that? One thing you're gonna notice, that's the positive, grounded to the body, and this is a negative or smaller side. So reverse polarity, which we're gonna convert all of that anyways, putting an alternator in this thing. So let's swap out our leads here, put this thing the right way around. We'll disconnect the car for now. The only thing you have to do is swap this, and if we had a generator, you would reverse the polarity on it by jumping it out some fancy way, which we don't have to. And if there's a voltmeter, you have to switch sides. But otherwise, everything else will work just the same. This is already loose, so we'll just back it off for now. And honestly, 63-year-old Lucas wiring might be doing some rewiring on this car anyways. New positive cable in here. Okay. You know, I'd almost rather put a ground on the back of the transmission here and then tie it into the body, because you know how these can be. No explosions. That starter sounds terrible. It let out a little poof of smoke. Oh yeah, it is dead. See if we made this thing work. We can see by the color, this was most likely the original to the car starter. Let's see if any of these brushes seem to be stuck. No. A little concerned with the amount of wear on the armature here. It's got a huge lip. Let's get some electrical cleaner. Really go to town with this thing. Try to get it super clean, just like this for now, before we dig farther in and try pulling it all apart. Let's see if just a good cleanup helped at all. I think it's all it needed. That's what it's supposed to do. It's a very noisy little starter, but it turns over. Let's just finger test and see if we got compression on each cylinder. Popping strong, 2. Popping strong, 3. Super strong, and 4. Oh no. Our starter came up. Ooh, it smells bad. See if we can get it apart and hopefully just focus on cleaning. There it goes. Whew, look at the wear. It's probably where most of that is giving us problems. All of the goo there is that. Starter's just whooped. 9 of 62. That's the original starter. Oh man. Unfortunately, with that much wear, our only option is to probably just get a replacement. See what it do now. Fresh starter. We're actually able to get it from our local auto parts store for only $100. That's perfect. Now we can test our last cylinder. 4 really good popping cylinders. So we're turning over. We've got fresh oil in there. We've got some compression. Let's figure out our fire. Pop our cap here. And that's crusty. Why is the wire all moldy looking? Other than those weird looking wires, the points aren't horrible looking. Let's just ohm it out and see if they make and break or not. And if they don't, maybe we can clean them up, because most of the time, call me crazy, I hate putting new ignition stuff in these old cars with points and condenser. Seems like the new stuff fails almost immediately every time. It's just not near as good as that old stuff was. And as you'd suspect, the crust in between those points is keeping us from making connections. We need to get that cleaned up. Oh yeah, look at all the crust. Not sure you can see, but that is much better. Let's see if it makes a connection now. It looks like our best bet at getting these cleaned up enough to work is going to have to be to pull them. You can see that lower. It's not horrible. And there's the other side of our points. Just take a brass wire brush and get in here and get everything cleaned up. That gets all the gunk out of there without taking a chance of removing our protective layer. making, braking, making, braking. Sweet. These things set to 15 thousandths. We know we need to switch our terminals here because we're reverse now. God, it's a screw-in coil. I just want to get a different coil. Funky little flathead in there. We don't have the right coil wire for that, so let's just stick a normal coil in it for now. Let's see if this thing's got fire now. Woo! Popping strong. One, two, three. Fire it all. Fresh set of plugs. We want to make sure they've got a 25 thousandths gap. Our next step is fuel. This thing is pretty clean down in here. I'm gonna grab a vacuum cleaner, vacuum it out just to make sure we don't have any trash in it. Choke works and throttle actually moves. I don't wanna completely open it just yet. Let's throw fuel to that thing, see if it holds, and we'll try to fire it on that one first. Looks really clean down in there. See if this thing will hold at all. Got our boat tank run to our fuel pump for now, just a primer bulb because we don't have any fuel pumps. There you're taking it. Believe it or not, it took it and is overflowing. Okay. Let's open this top up and see if we can figure out the float. Dang, it's clean, but it is. The float is not floating at all. The adjustment is, it's like it's got the wrong needle in it. This needle is not sealing whatsoever. It almost looks like it's the wrong one. Look how much they have the tang on that float adjusted. Let's get it apart and see if we can figure out why it is not sealing. It's just a little brass guy. Make sure there's no ridge. Yeah, there's quite a lip. This is why you keep all your extra carb junk around, because sometimes it has stuff you need. Got a brand new one. Drop in there. Can actually adjust this where it looks much better as far as the tang goes. Much happier. No overflowing. Now we don't have a cooling system, so we cannot run it very long. I don't know about y'all though. I'm ready to see if this thing will fire off. We did get the exhaust pulled back up into place and clamped on with clamps that we found in all of the spare parts. You ready, Dad? Mm-hmm. Just see if it does anything. Dude! Wow, that exhaust leaked really, really, really bad. Oh, what is that? Does it have any oil pressure? It ran and just tried to idle, but I don't know that it has any oil pressure. Maybe that's why I stuck this thing in here. It didn't go any farther. I cannot believe this thing is wanting to run. Now, obviously that carburetor was clean as a pin, probably never had been ran anyways, but I don't like the fact that we don't have oil pressure yet. And I'd rather be safe than sorry. The hose that attaches is like super loose anyways. I kind of want to just pull that and just verify this thing picks up oil pressure. We don't want to hurt an engine that might not already be hurt. So it's looking like maybe and hopefully, just from the length of time this thing sat, this oil pump needs just a little bit of help priming up. And so you're supposed to pull this banjo bolt back off, and then we can actually backfill down into here. Hopefully that'll get this thing picked up and priming and happy. So there's nothing yet. Let's see now. Oh yeah. I think that's all it needed. Wow, huge oil pressure now. There it goes. Let's just replace this line on the oil cylinder real quick. Now that we have some oil pressure, Dad's keeping an eye on the gauge there. I think we can fire back up again. Sounds really good. Got oil pressure?
About 60 pounds. About 65 pounds.
54 years. It's ready to run. Will you be my fuel pump real quick, please?
Yeah.
Sounds so good. That's awesome. That is awesome. Now we can't run along because we do not have a cooling system, so let's take care of that real quick. Definitely a little nerve-wracking until we got that oil pressure coming through, but once we did, man, this thing is quiet, it is smooth, no knocks, no ticks. Awesome. I don't even know what all this thing blew out, and it smells horrible. Like, not rats, the usual rat's nest, I don't even know. That stank is the sweet smell of success though. Now as far as our cooling system goes, there's a radiator in here and I'm hoping because it never was installed, maybe it's still pretty good shape. It is a big old, good grief, what is that thing? It's different than the later cars for sure. It looks really, really nice. Look at the this is for this car. There it is. Let's flush and clean that radiator up really good. Make sure it doesn't have any leaks right off the bat. Get our water pump installed and some hoses. Dad got that water pump installed, and that is an updated 1275 water pump. It's just a little upgrade you can do, but there is a thermostat down in the thermostat housing there. This thing's been sitting wide open for a lot of years. For now, especially with the little bit of rust that was in the block there, let's pull the housing, pull the thermostat, and let this thing run at least the first little while with no thermostat in there so we can flush that coolant. What is that thing? Yeah, I wouldn't rely on that one bit. When you get a car that is in a bunch of pieces, and especially one that's sat this long, sometimes you don't find everything. Surprisingly, the generator was inside, and it's kind of neat. It has the drive for the tachometer on the back of it, so we might have to figure out making it working again. We did find the fan, which is in a bunch of pieces, but they were all there. The one thing we did not find is a water pump pulley, and it seems like it's 948 specific because it's a single groove, pretty deep, small one. This is a forward pulley. We've got to open the center hole up a little bit, and it's way too big, but it might get us going for now to at least have a cooling system. Might be crazy, but if it works, is it crazy? Looks so funny with that little fan, with that fan on that big old water pump pulley, but with some slight modification, that 4200 actually surprisingly lines up perfect. Clean as a field. There ain't nothing in there. Got a 1-inch heater hose. This will work for now for our bottom until we can get a correct molded hose in place. And we'll just loop it all around crazy like so. cooling system wrapped up. We can't remember this block off now. This car, super easy heater setup. We'll figure all that out, but for now, we've bypassed it on the lower hose. We'll bypass it right here on the head too.
Gotta close that.
Get some temp in this thing. Idling away and it sounds fantastic. Any leaks?
Yeah, we're drifting.
What are we drifting? Thermostat leaking? Okay, look. I'm just putting goop on it for now. Because we got to get the right gasket and thermostat anyways. That's awesome. 63-year-old MG that's been sitting for 54 years. Listen to that. Is the tack working at all? It is not. Some stank, funk, nasty stuff burning off that engine. But I love that smell. I gotta say, I didn't give that intake very much credit, but it runs really good on it. It actually runs really, really well. I mean, this thing isn't, well, I mean, it's smoking, but it's like not like excessive smoke. It's normal smoke for something that sat like that. Oil looks beautiful. No mixing of coolant, which is awesome. And we could just leave it at that. But you know we gotta try to move this thing right. There's a lot of work that has to go into the brakes. The brakes are also part of the clutch and the slave cylinder and everything. It's actually not even on there right now. So there's a lot of work we have to do to actually get a functioning clutch, but I think we can put the shifter back together, maybe get this thing to start in gear and drive it around the yard here. Now the car is still up. We might as well slide under there and check the transmission fluid and the transmission fluid level. I hate to burn that thing up just for this short drive, especially knowing it was potentially out and maybe apart anyways. Oh yeah, I forgot, MG Midget, you check and top off the transmission fluid from in the car. Brad and I are gonna pull this top off just so it's out of the way. Isn't that awesome? This car is meant to not have a top on it. Plug. Yeah, that is bone dry. Like bone dry, bone dry, bone dry. Oh, that thing is beautiful. It's like brand new, but it has no fluid. Surprisingly enough, this calls for a 20W50 engine oil as well. We will keep filling until it runs back up out of that hole. Like this just drops right into place. There's a little key and our plate. First, second, third, fourth, and reverse. That's my good throttle. So through there. Okay. It's all you. Dude, this is great. Oh, this is great. Oh my gosh. That is some really old flat spotted bias plies. I feel like I'm in a go-kart. This thing turns on a dime. Think we can get second gear? Oh, baby. This thing is awesome. Temp gauge is actually working. Oil pressure we know works. See, our temp is great. Our oil pressure's reading good. Carburetor's not happy. Hand throttle's a little weird. Not having a clutch isn't great, but what an awesome car. Why don't you get in this thing with me really quick? Come on. You'll like that. Come on, Dad, get in here! Oh my goodness. Oh yeah. Oh, I remember these. Oh yeah. Okay. They're like bricks.
That's worse than my legs. Oh, I like this fit. I like it.
The seats are perfect, aren't they?
I like it.
Now you ready for this? You ready?
What you got? Don't need no clutch.
Oh, I am steering, driving. Here you go. Now the question was, will this 1962 Mk1 MG Midget run again after 54 years of sitting? not only will it run, but it'll move under its own power. What a super, super fun rescue. Man, we love bringing these things back to life. It is the best part of an automobile revival. We really hope you all have enjoyed this rescue so far. If you have and you want to see more on this, our other rescues and rebuilds, be sure to subscribe button, notification bell to keep up with our future uploads. Our next video will be on the Model A Peach Flat. And if you haven't been a part of the channel, we do appreciate it so incredibly much. We get to rescue all of this stuff because of each and every one of you. Peace out. Catch you all on the flip side.